Welcome to Awake Channel.
Here, we acknowledge the distinction between what is and what appears to be, and thus, we cease to accept our imagination as reality. All that is necessary is to abandon one's erroneous beliefs. Words are not facts, but only ideas about facts. What Wu Xin points to is to directly contact reality itself without allowing your belief system to intervene. Therefore, do not interrupt. Look at the situation in a different way, and so we can perceive what really matters. It is irrelevant whether you agree or not with what will be said. Truth does not demand your agreement, only your recognition. It may seem like an achievement, but it is not. You gain nothing, only lose. There is nothing to learn, however, there is much to unlearn. It takes immense patience to understand and discern this. It is a long process of unlearning until discernment appears in an instant, and when it appears, it is unspeakable. These instructions will not take you anywhere. They simply lead you back to the place you never left. In summary, the teaching deals with these three aspects. First, on the phenomenal level, when one stops resisting what is and harmonizes with what is, one reaches a state of clarity. Second, as clear vision deepens, the understanding arises that no one is doing anything, and there is only one doing everything through the many and diverse phenomena that serve as instruments. Third, the seemingly separate self is a misunderstanding created by the mind, which divides everything into a subject, self, and an object, the world outside of this self. This apparent duality, this feeling of being separate and apart, is the cause of basic unhappiness. In contemplation of the source of everything, of the natural state that exists before any manifestation, the individual, the self, is finally seen as an object. The return to unity is nothing more than the end of this division. Roy Melvin, author of the book The Lost Writings of Wu Xinyu, pointers to non-duality. Absolute understanding, selections from Hu Xinyu. Every man is born twice. First in the womb of the mother, then arises the notion of self. Then the problem begins. Parents, teachers, and society have induced this trance called self. To be clear, challenge, and investigate your reality. Direct cognition is available here and now. Let me produce a massive fire and fuel it with all concepts, judgments, and ideas. Once the fire burns them, the world will be seen as a perfect place. Here is the absolute simplicity of the matter. In the absence of identification with anything, who are you? There is a central concept upon which everything else is built. That central concept is the self, the notion of a distinct identity that stands out from the world. The final step in a spiritual journey is to lose oneself. Trust that what brought you here will also lead you there. All that exists is consciousness. Consciousness is all that exists. In the absence of consciousness, what exists? All manifestations appear and disappear in consciousness. Believing that which is transient can lead to the permanent is to be disappointed. What comes and goes is just an appearance. What perceives all comings and goings is the only substance. Drinking from this elixir, life is recognized as eternal. Turn your attention to where infinitude arose from. Look deeply within yourself and try to find yourself. The failure that follows is the true discovery. How can light find darkness? Darkness is only the absence of light. How can anyone find their own origin? The origin is only revealed through your own absence. The shadow cannot exist. How can the world exist for you if you are not there to perceive it? All conflicts between friends, lovers, families, and kingdoms begin as an internal conflict. Freeing oneself from conflict is freeing the world from conflict. The past is just a memory. The future is just a hope. All that exists is this moment. Only this moment is eternal and real. Everything else is the mind. Why do you complain about darkness when there are extinguished candles by the bedside? It is quite simple. Know what you are not. See all that you are not. Everyone is part of the cast. When the scene ends, there is nothing to take away. Only the memory remains. Sooner or later, the curtain falls on everyone's stage performance. The self is not known. It is assumed. It is nothing more than an idea. Like all ideas, it can be ignored or believed. To end this chaos, inquire into the reality of the self. What remains is not the self. It is what always is. In the absence of self, only the infinite remains. What you truly are is formless and without description. It is not the world, not the body, not even the mind. What you are is prior to all that. Who you are is what cannot be expressed. Who you are is the eternal. This, in essence, is Hu Xin's teaching.